Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Sovereign Society podcast. And I wanted to come on because this topic is something that I've really been studying so far in 2022 really strongly and really experimenting a lot with because the truth is the online business world is shifting. And, in for instance, in when was it? December, I got my Instagram hacked. Uh, Sabrina Riccio that had over 10.4 thousand followers, and then I was able to get my account back. And then like something just felt off. So I didn't know necessarily if it was because my account got hacked, even though I got it back, or what. That's what I thought it was. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start fresh on a whole new Instagram because my engagement was super wonky. And then I started a new one and I have over like 400 followers so far, which I'm pumped about because that shows like the people who are really devoted and are true followers. So my 10.2K, because I lost some followers when I created the new one, my 10.2K, and I think a lot of the people that weren't really people also got cleared out followers, but that account I went back to my old business name and it's shamanessa.gadessa because obviously you can't have your handle on two names. So what I've been doing and what I've been experimenting with are these two accounts to really see what's going on with the engagement. And it's still so bizarre to me. And so I was like, okay, something had to be up. So I started doing a lot more research on a lot of people I follow. Some of them have been guests of the podcast. Some of them are my friends. Some people that I really respect. Some people that had a blue check mark next to their name and over like 100,000 followers. They were barely making like 5% engagement. And I was like, this is insane because, it's interesting. There was a lot of this patterning going on. And I'm sure Facebook bought out Instagram. And the thing that killed Facebook was that they didn't really push out a lot of their engagement unless people were buying ads from them. And I'm curious to see if this is the same thing that's happening with Instagram that's eventually can potentially kill that platform too. Because I don't know about you, but Instagram is feeling a lot like TikTok. Pictures, I mean, unless they're carousel, if you're lucky, pictures aren't really getting a lot of engagement. They're pushing reels, and reels are literally just a copycat of what TikTok has been. And they've been very, they have a reputation of just literally copying and pasting what other platforms have done. Super original, right? Um, but it's interesting because, during this time too, I was working through the last of my health shit, and I got COVID the beginning of the year. And while I had COVID, my grandmother died, and then 6 days after my grandma died, my best friend died, and I had 5 deaths in 10 weeks, and I was writing a book, and I was taking care of my health. And while I'm still in the book editing process, because this is one of my big goals for, March, and something that I really want to get done because I know that that book is what's going to catapult me into the next phase of my work and of my outreach. I know like the universe to me was like, you're not really supposed to be on social media right now. And so if you're someone whose social engagement, especially on Instagram, isn't doing well right now, I encourage you to not stress because, like I said, I've been doing a lot of research. I was even watching YouTube videos, and a lot of people have been talking about how wonky their engagement has been. I don't know necessarily if it's a glitch because Instagram was talking about going back to chronological feed. And what's interesting is that I have the chronological feed option plus the favorites option on my old account that had the 10.2K thousand followers. um, on Shamanestic Odessa, and I can see it where I have like saved favorites, and I can click on the Instagram logo on the top left, and I can click either favorites or people I'm following. So if it's the people I'm following, it goes into the chronological feed. And then as with the favorites as well. So it's super interesting in that sense because, like I said, I think this is a glitch of what's going on. I also think Instagram's a little nervous because a lot of people have been leaning more to TikTok. And that's the thing. Like, these platforms, like, they're not everything and they can be gone tomorrow. So if you're someone whose engagement has been super wonky, my invitation for you is to use this time to go back to the drawing board and to really hone in on what are the pillars of your business, what content in the past has done really well with your audience, and more importantly, something to consider that may be completely out of your comfort zone is what other platforms can you focus your energy on? I said it. So for me, I'm doing my best to not overexert my chi right now. It's something my mentor is really helping me remember. And, you know, she's an Eastern medicine practitioner. So she's like, you got to really watch your chi and be careful right now. So while I know a huge piece of what I'm excited to share more of is Instagram. So if you're watching this, welcome to my Instagram page. And if you're not, you can check out my Instagram page where I have all podcast episodes. I'm going to be doing more Instagram videos. So that's youtube.com/Sabrina Riccio. Um, but I want to do more video content and I want to do more trainings and more information around the various platforms I teach inside my program, Alchemize Your System. So I want to talk more about ClickUp. I want to talk more about Flowdesk. I want to talk more about social media and marketing strategy. I want to talk more about astrology. And I'm getting to these spaces. I want to talk more and get back into Kundalini Yoga because I wasn't allowed to do Kundalini Yoga because it was like it creating too much energy when I really needed to like hone in and slow down my energy. But since I've been getting back into my daily sadhana, I'm seeing a difference again, and I'm really excited. So I'm excited to share more of that. So I'm going to be creating more YouTube content, which I'm really excited about because as someone who studied marketing and got my degree from a well-respected business school, and my marketing professor called me the marketing machine. I've been pretty good over the past 14 years to really spot out trends. Hilariously enough, my whole senior thesis was essentially what Amazon does, but they took it to the next level. But I was saying Barnes and Noble can do like a textbook rental and think beyond textbooks and to be able to have like an online shop with that. And then Amazon was doing that. And then they took it just a step further with, you know, the crazy thing Amazon is now today. I started this podcast, 6 years ago. Before podcasting was big, and this podcast got up to number 22 in the charts. So, like I said, I love doing market research. I think it's part of the gonzo journalist in me. I like to go in and see what's going on. And the biggest thing I can share with you right now is that video content's really going to be the future. So really don't put all your eggs in one basket just with Instagram. Think outside of the box. If, maybe you want to start that podcast, maybe you want to go ahead and start that YouTube channel. Maybe, you want to start that TikTok where you can repurpose your reels, and vice versa. The thing is that like we need to not focus and like see this one social media platform as like the holy grail, because the thing is it can be taken away tomorrow, plain and simple. I don't know if you remember the one day where Instagram crashed. It can happen. So the biggest thing I would say, if you haven't already, is to start an email list as well. If you want to save 50% off of my favorite email list, which was the sponsor that I share in this episode, I would definitely suggest Flowdesk. Not only are they beautiful layouts that can really have, you just plug and play with what they do. They have beautiful fonts and branding, but they have amazing workflows. You can embed different forms onto your website. You can have, if you don't have a website, you can do one whole page um, as like an email form, so that you can just have like a little blurb and get their name and their email address if you want, and you can have them join a free training or get a free workbook or a 3-day, free master class or whatever. But the key is that you want to make sure that you're building up your email list. So again, if you want to check out Flowdesk, I've referred so many people to it. You can use the code Sabrina and save 50% off your annual fee. It's something I teach inside Alchemize Your Systems as well. And I use Flowdesk for all of my course emails. Even though I have all my courses inside Kajabi, I don't like the template and the layout of the way and the font choices. Mind you, I love branding. So those things are really important for me, and I like to be able to customize, and I just don't get that with the Kajabi emails. But the Flowdesk ones, I have all of my email automations for all my courses through there, the workflows, so things can be running behind the scenes. So again, that's Flowdesk, Flowdesk. And again, if you want the coupon, you can check in the show notes below. Or if you're listening, you can check it out just on the show notes on your favorite platforms where you're pushing play. But anywho, if you haven't started to build that email list up, I would say do so, and this is why. Your email list, you at least have the name and the email of the person who is subscribing to you. And the thing is, like, you can actually grow through email, and there's no censorship. I said it. A lot of social media right now has so much censorship going on because everything needs to be very PC right now, one. And two, there's a lot of money in play with these social media platforms. So there is a spiritual war right now going on. And so freedom of speech, because truth is your identity, is really being tested right now. But the truth wins, right? And so does love. So if you speak your truth and you love yourself, like, you will win. My prayer, again, is that you're just not focusing on reaching your audience through social media. It's a great tool, but you don't own the content that you're putting out there. The emails, at least you can go back and see. You can see analytics. You can connect on it without an intermediary, I should say, because it's social media. You need to make sure that the algorithm supports. But if it's an email, that email will support. So I would say, if you haven't yet, please start a quiz, make a freebie, do a free training, have a 3-day thing, and then you want to make sure you're leading them. Also, there's a call to action, or the next phase would be leading them into a course or a program that you're selling. Otherwise, you're just promoting a very expensive hobby. And let me tell you, I've been there. I spent a lot of money on a hobby, and I'm going to be diving in deeper in a couple weeks, talking about the top mistakes new coaches make. And I'm sharing it from my own experience. It's what really fueled me to create Business Alchemy, my 3-month coaching program. It's a 90-day business development course. So if you're interested in that, just send me a DM over on Instagram. You can either DM me at Sovereign Society Podcast or at Sabrina Riccio. And let's talk. I'm here to answer any questions you have. But the thing is I want you to do it right when it comes to building your online brand. Because like I said, social media, it isn't promised, and that's why it's important to not bring so much focus and attention. And if you're going to be creating on social media, I want you to make sure that you have a strategy. So what are you selling? Who are you selling to? What are the pillars of your business? What's the overall message? Are you consistent? And you want to plan these out ahead. This is why, and even you get this inside Business Alchemy as well, but like in Alchemize Your Systems, I'm giving people templates, and soon enough I'll be also sharing templates individually for each of the different programs that I use inside the program ClickUp to really organize and jot down and visualize, see, and move around like the type of content you want to create. But the thing is, you can also multi-purpose and I talked about that before with Instagram Reels versus with TikTok, right? You can create one piece of content and you can use it as a Pinterest post. You can use it as a YouTube video. You can use it as a podcast episode. So for instance, here's this podcast episode. You can watch this right now on YouTube. You can listen to it right now on your favorite social media platform. That's me multi-purposing, where I'm getting it and having it seen in multiple spaces. I'm going to be talking about it on also like my Instagram. So the main thing you need to do is to come up with a plan. You need to come up with some sense of structure, some sense of intention, and really work accordingly. So the biggest piece overall that I'm going to keep repeating it is just don't put your eggs all in one basket. And I really want you to also work with the platforms that you enjoy being part of. For instance, I hate Facebook. I only use Facebook to talk with family members and to like let them know I'm okay. But otherwise, I don't like Facebook. I still like Instagram. I'm having like a love-hate relationship with, but I have so much of my audience, and that's why I'm focusing on building up more on my email list. So for instance, with me focusing on my email list, the things that I'm really honing in on is the change of every season. I'm going to be doing like an incredible welcome to, for instance, Aries season, where I'm going to have card spreads and reflection questions and how to really harness this for your business and yourself. I really want to dive in and give you the resources that can really help you with this season. I also have my Sovereign Sunday where I'm sharing more tips and tricks. I like to use my email list to share special offers only with my subscribers. I like to share freebies. And these are the things that the email list is really here to help you cultivate a deeper level of trust, so your audience knows what they can expect from you when they invest in you. The truth is, social media is so come and go. There's some days you can have like amazing peaks with your reach, and some days it's just crickets. Again, you have to also trust this process and understand what kind of content you're really putting out there and being consistent with. What keywords are you're using? Are you using those keywords in your bio? So these are all things that you need to consider if you really want your content to be seen. But the number one piece that I'm also implementing, and I encourage you to understand as well, is that if you don't believe in yourself, neither will your audience. So the truth is that social media is like, it's still fresh, right? Like collectively, we're still doing our best to how to adapt to a world where technology is part of our everyday lives, you know? I think about like kids today will never know what it's like to not be around so much technology like when we were young. But that's okay. Like there's evolution and it goes with it, but not only do we need to understand that social media isn't everything, we need to cultivate boundaries about social media and taking care of ourselves, especially because you on social media scrolling, you're absorbing so much of that energy that's coming through, one, and two, you're exerting a lot of energy too. And the future of everything is energetically. So if you can't master your energy, if you can't understand that like there's energetics behind what comes to you, what's holding you back, where like whatever is coming in your way, everything is energy. So if you're also creating content just to create content because you're in this scarcity mindset of like, oh my gosh, if I don't create content, then no one's going to sign up or no one's going to find me. That's a red flag right there that like you still have a lot of deep wounding. It can be a lot of the damsel in distress or, the little girl, little boy who needs attention. There can still be a lot of that codependency that can come through. So social media is also a great way to see, it's like a reflection in a way of what's going on with you energetically. So yes, while the algorithm and the updates are a piece of what's happening, the other piece is energetically. So are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking social media sabbaticals? Are you planning content so that you're not so devoted to your phone and that you can really spend a whole day focused on creating content? For instance, today I'm creating 2 podcast episodes and I'm creating a whole bunch of intros, recording, editing videos. Like today, I've just been focusing on creating content. Today's Wednesday, so it's a Mercury day. So I like to create content that's going to be like communicating. I talk a lot about this inside the Mystic Planner, and that's a program that I'm also upgrading and enhancing more about calendars and organizations. But if you want to check that out, check out the Mystic Planner. It's an incredible course. The price is going to at least double once I add this new content. So I'd encourage you to snag that now. You can check that in the show notes as well. But again, you want to make sure you're planning ahead. You want to make sure you have a strategy. You want to make sure that you're creating content that everyone else likes because there's so much information, so much content out there now. So in a way, that's why the algorithm is like weeding out what works and what doesn't. And energetically, I want you to understand that that technology, that social media doesn't have power over you. It doesn't justify your worth. It doesn't say like who you are and define you. If anything, it's there to support your message. It's there to support your medicine. It's there to support your community. So my prayer is that you don't allow the wonkiness of these glitches that are happening, because let's face it, we're also experiencing a glitch in the matrix right now too, and technology is so interwoven into the matrix, so that's inevitable that this shit's gonna be what it is, because humanity is waking up and technology doesn't necessarily know how to navigate through this love, through human connection, because it can never be human, right? And so I just really want you to embrace your humanness. I really want you to embrace your medicine. I really want you to embrace your sacred why. I really want you to embrace your intention. And from that space, how are you choosing to be part of the solution? From that space, how are you choosing to show up? From that space, do you believe in what you're sharing? Do you believe in your medicine? Because I don't want you to like give all of your power away to an algorithm. Then you're feeling disempowered and you're more likely to be manipulated by this algorithm, which can affect your energy. It can affect your perspective. It can increase your self-doubt and your insecurity, and that's how it hooks you in. So you need to understand on a quantum level what's going on a spiritual level, what's going on, because to me, what I'm seeing is that this is a test of whether or not you believe in your medicine. This is a test of whether or not you know how to cultivate that boundary of how much time you spend on social media versus how much time you spend in the now moment, and don't have a third party, a middleman, because there can be a lot of karmic lessons from this experience as well. So my prayer is that you understand that you are worthy. You understand that your medicine is here and you are here for a purpose and for a reason during this wild time in human history. I hope that you understand. I pray that you understand that the very things you've navigated through, you have the ability to build a business that can help other people once you've given yourself permission to not only learn, but to implement and to master it. Because if you want to master something, teach it. So these are the things that I'm sharing inside Business Alchemy, which is coming soon. If you want to join the email list, so you can be the first to know if you're ready to build your business, send me a DM and let's talk, because I think it's important to also build a relationship with our community. And I think the piece is once you already have a business, and if you're Instagram algorithm or social media algorithm is wonky, how can you foster the relationships that you have already had with previous client? Because there is a thing of client retention versus new clients. And if you can continue to have that client retention and cultivate trust and a relationship with your clients, that too is also what's going to grow your business. And to me, I think that's the most important thing. New clients are amazing, but there's something really special from fostering and connecting with the people who've believed in you, who've worked with you in the past, and you build this relationship, and what comes from that is what truly revolutionizes the world. So let me know what you thought of this episode. Again, send me a DM if you're, I would love to hear. I'd love to hear with a review or a rating on iTunes. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, feel free to leave it in the comments below. But my prayer is to engage deeper with my community, because I'm not doing this work for me. I'm doing this work for you. I've done enough of the me work, and now it's time to do the we work. So I want to create content that's going to support you and your business. So please, like, if there's a topic that you want to hear more about on YouTube or on the podcast, send me a DM. I'm going to be doing more and more polls and questions over on Instagram. And that's the other thing. Instagram likes when you use their polls feature, their questions feature, the link, like the buttons that they've created. Enhance and share more of that as well. But my focus right now, because I've done so much me work, is to focus on my community. So you guys mean everything to me. I just want to say thank you for your love and thank you for your support, especially during one of the most challenging times of my life. The past year was hell. But I got so many nice messages from you guys, and that's what really kept me going, was you guys truly. And I've just wanted to get better so that I can continue to be of service to my community. And my prayer for you is that you continue to focus on yourself and your evolution and your growth spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, so that you can be fully present for your community and your audience, because that will be felt that you're actually being of service. So be discerning and be cautious of, and just really aware of the energy that you bring into every post. Again, are you posting this because you want the likes? Are you posting it for vanity reasons? Are you posting it because you're actually really moved and inspired to share this post? So that's the other thing I really want you to think about. But just really think of what your audience is craving. Think of what's, and really hone in on what's lighting you up. And from that space, unleash your medicine with the world. So thank you again for tuning in. And if you want to join the email list, again, you can take my quiz, sabrinariccio.com/quiz, so you can see where you are in your journey and get a whole bunch of different resources as well, to help you with your experience. But thanks for being here. Thanks for your love. And if you're just feeling overwhelmed with social media, just ride the wave and use this opportunity to really hone in on your sacred why, revisit your ideal client, revisit the pillars of your business, and the overall plan ahead for each quarter. Plan ahead and then break that down for each month. Like, just bulk it out. It will bring a lot more ease and grace, and the energy that won't be shared on social media will be a space of draining. It won't be like a burnout energy. Like, you're sharing truly from the space of overflow. So make sure you're taking care of yourself during this time. I love you all. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll be seeing more of you soon. Take care.